Floridian, and I'm here today to talk to you about my favorite accessory for visiting the Disney parks, which is the accessory that holds all of the other accessories. The accessory enabler, if you will. Of course, I'm talking about your bag or your backpack. One of the easiest things to complete a look, but also one of the trickiest ones to figure out whether it's going to work before you actually go to the park. So today we're going to try out a few different things that I personally like to use when I'm headed to the parks for a day or a weekend, or I mean theoretically if I was going to go to the parks and live there for my entire life. You never know. One can dream, right? And to help me out, I'm going to be using some common household products. We're going to measure the capacity of our different bags by seeing how many cans of tuna fish can we fit inside each of them. Everyone knows how big a can of tuna fish is, right? They're pretty standard in the US at least. In case you are a connoisseur of the tuna, this is Bumblebee solid white albacore. So I don't even eat meat. I don't eat tuna, so I wouldn't know whether this is good tuna fish. I did panic buy them for the cats before the last hurricane hit. So now I have tons of cans of tuna fish, and I needed a way to make them useful and justify buying all of them. So we're gonna do this. Okay, so the first bag that we're gonna test out is a Loungefly Mini Backpack. You've probably seen these all over various Disney parks and resorts. They sell them everywhere. Some people have legitimate addictions to these. Not that I would know. I'm doing good. I'm keeping them down to like, I was gonna say a reasonable number of Loungefly Mini Backpacks, but I think any number is reasonable if you try hard enough to justify it in your head. Anyway, here's one of mine. It's Cinderella. It's got little gusts on the back. And I enjoy it because when I take this to the parks, I know that I'm going to be able to fit a lot of things. So here we go. How many cans of tuna fish can we fit in here? So we can still get that nice zip in there. This is not a light backpack, but theoretically, if you're really worried about going hungry in Disney World, you could fit 8 cans of tuna fish into this. So our next contestant is a Danielle Nicole crossbody purse. These are super popular with Disney bounders because, as you can see, they're really graphic and cute, and they make it really easy to differentiate between your various shades of green. You know, oh, this green is Tinkerbell and this green is Tiana. You can tell that because we've got pastel. Anyway, they're adorable. They're really chic and stylish. They're great for Disney bounds. You're gonna see how great they are for a whole day at the park, though. If this is your only bag, let's see how many cans of tuna fish you can fit in. Ooh. Yeah, I don't think a third one's gonna get in yet. This is a solid 2-canner. So poor Pascal, he only has a little tiny stomach. He can only fit 2 cans of tuna fish. So maybe you're more practical and you're thinking, oh, I'm gonna go for a little bit more substance, and you have something like this. This is a tote. This particular one is at Disney Parks by Dooney Bourke, but you know, any kind of standard tote bag size. This is, you know, probably diaper bag size, a little smaller. So how many cans of tuna fish can we put in one of these bad boys? Okay, so I wouldn't recommend it, but you can fit 9 cans of tuna fish and 3 full-size cans, each one of which is equivalent to 3 cans of tuna fish. So that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18. 18 cans. Fancy Floridian does math. 18 cans of tuna fish into a tote bag size purse. Again, just because you can doesn't mean you should. I think depending on your personal style, any of these would work for a day in the park. Now, if you only have 2 cans of tuna fish worth of space to work with, obviously you're gonna have to go a little light on the umbrella. Wouldn't recommend going in summer, but you know, you might not be able to fit a full-size battery pack to recharge, or any kind of extra snacks or water bottles, but you'll look great in pictures. If you've got kids, you're on the go, you might want to look into a larger bag, and there's ways to make these fun and fashionable. I've taken this bag to Disney Bound with. I Disney Bounded as Cinderella's castle with the old paint jobs. I'm gonna go back and do that again now that it's pink. But there's possibilities. I said work with what you've got. You can definitely take any size bag to the park, but figured if anyone was curious and trying to decide what to buy, if you're in the market, remember the tuna fish test. 2, 8, 18. I'm gonna go lift some cans, get nice and swole, pumped for my next trip. Florida never gets cold, so the sun's always out and the guns are always out when you're going to the Disney parks.
Thanks so much for watching. If you liked the video, we've got lots more content. Hit that subscribe button, we'd really appreciate it. You can also visit our website at www.fashioneerstud.com.